Hi, and welcome to the Momwire series. I'm your host, Lynn Bodner, and I'm hosting a series of conversations about the stories of moms, the real deal, the real mom story. And it's really on a quest to create conversation to reframe that role and that cultural expectation of what we moms are doing. So today I have the pleasure of inviting Jessica Verderame to have a chat. She is a beautiful mom of two gorgeous, lovely children. She's such a good mom. She's an awesome businesswoman. And I got to tell you, she's one of the best mama bears I know. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're willing to talk about it, because I think all of us moms just need to open up this conversation and share our hearts and just kind of go, oh, this is what we're up against. And it's not a big complaint thing, but just really the time of support that we need each other, like more than ever. So,
yeah, I agree. And it's funny because as you were doing the introduction, it reminded me that we met when we were both, business women. And, navigating the whole how to handle the business and deal with your family and kids. And I think we really connected that way too. We recognized like, oh yeah, hey, you're going through the same thing I am.
Oh, hey, do I still have flour in my hair before I walk into the meeting? Right? We had that common like, okay, I get you. And you do.
Yeah, you're my people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that vibe of like, yeah, no, you got a little baby food on your thing to let it.
Is that a booger? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, we had each other's back. I love it. So the topic today, intentionality, which I used to think was an oxymoron with mom life.
Yeah.
As I kind of walked through it, I felt like more the definition as a mom was just doing things on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, you put a lot of cool stuff on Facebook, like real stuff, and because honestly, I think some of it's fake, but you put a lot of real fun, cool stuff with your kids, and I'm like, how does she pull all that off? And it just seems intentional, planned, not psycho, but like.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you kind of pull that all together, or what does that look like for you?
That's a really good question.
Ooh, deep breath on that one.
I just, so you mean as far as like things like our Halloween costumes or our outings and things?
Yeah.
I try not to be.
Okay. Yeah. It got a little glitchy, but let's roll.
Yeah. Talk about multitasking. I'm like hiding in my conference room back here.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a kid to interrupt any minute. So, it's a glitch.
Yeah. And if it gets too spotty, I can always grab my Ethernet cable and I can plug in too.
Perfect.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the outings and things that we do with the kids, I try to do a lot of things with them on purpose. I try to do a lot of experiences and make sure that they're not just being carried along in the current of, the busy adult lives that my husband and I both lead, but that, we're planning things, specifically for them. And that we are entering their world and doing things with them. And so, but as far as those, we kind of like have a loose idea of like, hey, on Saturday, this is what we want to do. I've learned a long time ago that I can't ever say, okay, we're going to get up at 6:00 on Saturday morning, and by 8:00, we're going to be out the door looking like this and doing this, because that never happens. We just kind of have this loose idea that, okay, we're going to set aside Saturday as a family day, or Sunday as a day that, the girls and I I'm going to teach them how to bake bread, or, teach them one of my grandmother's recipes. And, so some of these things we do plan on purpose, but it's not ever highly structured, because that never works out for me.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that I have the intention or the idea that we're going to do this. And then that release of whatever it looks like, we're together learning stuff. We're together. Yeah. And I think we can get caught up in our to-do lists and get frustrated and headbangy. Whereas we kind of have that, like you have that clarity, like, okay, we're going to look at making some bread today. Let's see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I will tell you, the ladies that I hang out with tend to be, moms, and they're the ones that I can text and say, holy crap, I need a wine and wine. What are you doing in 10 minutes? And so I can literally just like walk on over with, my box of wine and my kids, and let the kids play while we hang out. It's like that spontaneity when you need something too.
I love that. Wine and wine. That is so great. And what do they just answer the phone? Red or white? No.
Pretty much. Well, I know what my people want. So yeah. Yeah. But
That's
yeah, I mean, as far as like the more structured things, like the Halloween costumes that we build out, I try to do it a little bit at a time in advance, or and honestly, some things are just on a whim that we do. You know,
yeah.
you wake up Saturday morning, okay, the baby woke up at 5, we're all up, let's go to the farmer's market.
That's where I'm like, I'll give you $20 to sleep for an hour. But wait, I'm
Here's the iPad, just leave me alone.
what's
Yeah,
the value of money? No,
I
that is
know.
that
Well,
is
I still can't do that. So I can do that with my 7-year-old, but my 5-year-old still, because she has some behavior delays and things, like I have to be up with her. She has to be supervised.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. And even having your own clarity on that with that, again, intentionality around knowing what to expect and knowing
Mhm.
what, she can expect and what most lifts her up and serves her best
Mhm.
and serves you because you're not banging your head against the wall has had to be a huge aha as you've gone along.
Yeah, just figure out what works. You know, keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Um, keeping it simple is what has helped us survive.
Awesome. And again,
And
not to keep using the same word intentionality, but that's what we're talking
yeah,
about. I mean,
yeah.
it probably day one, you probably were like, I mean, did you kind of learn like, oh, simplicity is
Mhm.
the most peace for all of us and probably especially her.
Simplicity, and also just focusing on the core of the family. Like, this is all that matters. The 4 of us, that we're happy, we're healthy, we're safe, that we're moving along and moving forward. That is critical. And then everyone on the outside, yes, they can plug in and be, components to our lives. But, at the end of the day, we just have to make sure that our unit of 4 is intact and happy. And I can't worry about fixing anyone else or pleasing anyone else, or, making anything else work for anyone outside of that circle.
I
And
love
we're even talking about, like immediate family, like their
that.
grandparents, or um, anybody else.
I
And so
love, love, love that clarity. I mean,
learning to say no.
yeah, I mean, as a recovering pleaser,
Yeah, at whatever cost.
been through my 12-step program, but yeah, it just
It's,
seems like when you keep
yeah.
that focus, and I love that you have just plugged into that early and often, and that just brings a sense of relief too, and just like your
Mhm,
overall purpose in this mom experience. And I call it
mhm.
the Momware series because we're all writing a memoir, we're all living and
Right.
creating our story, and that creation right there,
Mhm.
just that centeredness and focus and intentionality, you just know, okay, you can easily sort out this is a yes and this is a no, and you don't have to go,
Uh-huh.
could I would I, you're like,
Well, not to say that that doesn't happen occasionally, because
of
that saying
course,
that
yeah.
saying no and not, trying to please everybody, has caused some strained relationships within the immediate extended family. But
Yeah.
again, the bottom line is my husband and I are the ones that are trying to wrangle a crazy 5-year-old with some issues to bed every night, or waking up in the middle of the night because she can't, so self-preservation too, and
Yeah,
making
yeah.
sure that we're not just running on fumes, and we're giving them the best of us and not what's left.
Mm, I love that too. And, I called you a mama bear at the beginning, and you are, but what I also love is you're a mama bear for your family and yourself.
Mhm.
Because if you are not showing up full Jessica,
Right.
that's a crumbly
Mhm.
situation, especially with
Mhm.
extra demands going on.
I'm like at about 60%, Jessica. I'm still trying to figure out the other 40.
Well, I mean, I'm not pretending we have life figured out, but
Mhm.
I think it's these conversations and your wine and wine, and that's another thing, like that intentionality of surrounding yourself with a group of like people that you can just let your hair down. I mean, even on bad
Mhm.
hair day, you can let your hair down and just be like, I don't want a mom today.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's important to have that network,
yeah.
and recognize when you need it. And it was a friend of mine who taught me about that. She was very in tune with, I need you right now. She's a stay-at-home mom, but she also works from home, and her husband's gone pretty often for his job. He does shift work, and he goes hunting, and I don't know how she keeps it together. I mean, on the surface, it looks like she's just got her poop in a group, but
Yeah.
she needs she needs some help, and she was the one that taught me it's okay to just, pause and be around other moms and just, feed off of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I love her for that. She's so smart, and so smart to model that, because I mean, that's a pretty isolated gig. And there's no book or boss to check in with, or there's no performance appraisal and like, hey, you did this good, or hey, I mean, you need that. That's why I'm super convinced we just need each other more than whether we have 18 jobs or one main one or whatever. It doesn't matter. We are all in the same boat, just trying to get to the same goal line, if you will, or
Right.
oh heck, get the kids off the payroll. I'm just kidding, but yeah, no, it's I admire that. I admire that, and you were open to see it. You were open to go, that's a wise way to go through this journey.
Yeah.
So great.
So yeah.
That's great. So combining an office job and the home job, it's like when you get home from work, it's a second shift, right? You're like going into the second shift part of life. And so how does that, have you had ahas there, or things that maybe you can share that has helped you kind of reintegrate to that, or how does that work for you?
As far as transitioning from the work to home? Well, so fortunately, I'm in a job where I don't have to take it home with me any longer. When I was a teacher, I carried that with me all the time. When I owned the business, that was a 24/7 kind of thing. And so now, working with the Chamber of Commerce, like, yes, Fort Collins and the region, like, that is my business, but I'm able to leave it as soon as I close my laptop. I'm able to leave it at the front door. And so, just kind of the drive home, you make that transition from businesswoman to mom, and, just walking through the door and seeing their smiles and how excited they are to see me, and the big hugs. I mean, that's really all I need to make that shift. But, pretty often I'll do my workouts after work. And I've set up my home gym as such that there's a space for them to play. There's a little cubby hole with like Christmas lights and a sofa where they can read or play on the iPads if they don't want to work out with me, or, just including them on my my de-stress, and also modeling those healthy behaviors. So that helps transition a bit too.
Yeah,
and it satisfies like the self-care as well, and it's teaching them healthy habits. And yeah, but
I think that's awesome. It's not banging your head like, oh, just give me 30 minutes to work out. Stop. It's creating that environment. You thought through that ahead of time. You did it on purpose, and everybody's happier, and you're modeling as you go, which is awesome. So yeah, there's a lot on our plates, a lot we need to think about. And I just celebrate all that you do as a mom. That's
thanks, Lynn, and you too. But I mean, as far as like the transition, oftentimes we don't really get that pause. We don't get that moment to regroup. It's like, oh God, I have to what now? And you just roll with it.
Yeah. Who did what where? No, this was the time I was going to do this. I have to clean it.
Yeah.
Not too much. Absolutely. Well, awesome. I so appreciate your time today, and just sharing with our audience. And I just again celebrate you as a mom. I think you're doing such an awesome job.
Oh my God, thank you. And you inspire me as well. So it was an honor to meet you a couple years ago, and I love that we stay in touch. So I appreciate it so much.
Very, very likewise. And you've been such a wonderful support as I've journeyed through writing this book. And so I encourage you, if you've watched this video, if you want to go ahead and subscribe, I'll be doing more videos. My intention is to do one weekly, and I will be inviting subscribers, because I'm just looking for real moms in real conversations, talking about our stories and just trying to lift each other up. And again, reframe that role and expectation. Because we can trust ourselves, and it's always, always from the heart. So Jessica, thank you again. I appreciate your time today. And
thanks for having me, Lynn.
Yeah, all the best.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Remember to subscribe.